Alrighty, we are ready to begin. Welcome to the pre-stream of tonight's Die-In Theater. This will last about 5 minutes, and then we'll begin for real. So just sit tight, and we'll just hang out. And I've added some new moderators tonight, or admin. Do they call them admins or moderators on YouTube? I don't know. But I've added some more of those guys, so hopefully the chat will be a little bit more friendly, a little bit nicer. Well, I mean, the chat is usually nice. It's just sometimes people spam, which isn't good. Yeah, spamming for attention, not a good quality. Try to avoid spamming comments to try to get my attention. Chances are, if you have a good question or comment, I will catch it. And also, I forgot to turn on the background music. My bad. Oh boy. If only Goulash was still around. Unfortunately, I set him out to go scavenge for some toilet paper, and I haven't heard back from him in like 13 hours. It sucks. It fucking sucks. I'm starting to wonder if maybe they got him. Maybe Goulash is gone. Whatever. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm fine just by myself. Now, honestly, the drive-in theater is the original social distancing option to watch movies. Like, it's just the original social distancing while watching movies. You're just in separate cars. And, you know, there's been some talk during all this that drive-ins might be making a resurgence, and I'm hoping so. Even if it's just temporary drive-ins, where it's just like, okay, we're gonna have drive-ins just for the time being, just until all this blows over. Even then, I'm down. Like, that sounds good. Like, I miss drive-ins. I would really like another drive-in theater, but then again, I have my own, so what am I worried about? And also, I'd like to thank Crown the Empire for your super chat donation. And what? Why did that get deleted? What the hell? Okay, I don't know what. Okay, I think one of my admins deleted the super chat comment, so now I don't know what it says. That's a little awkward. I hope someone can tell me. Okay, I'll look for. That's a little awkward. Don't delete super chat comments, please, admins. Let me read them. Okay, I'm gonna look out for that guy's comment. That's that's a real little. That's where sometimes admins can kind of backfire. God. Okay, I'm gonna look out for his comment. Hopefully it's Hopefully I find it, because it's a little awkward. Oh, but thank you for the super chat, even if you don't decide to comment. Damn it. Well, I feel a little sad about that, but oh well. I'll keep an eye out for an additional comment. Yeah, don't delete super chat. Like, I don't care what they're saying. If they donate super chat, you know, I should at least be able to read it. Like, I don't care if it's saying fuck you or whatever. I don't know what I don't know what was up with that. Okay. All right, it doesn't matter right now. I'll just watch out for his comment. Hopefully he wasn't banned by the admin too. Oh god. Yeah, that's okay, I think I'm going to have to maybe readdress some of the admins, because some of them might be drunk with power now that they're admins. That's not good. But what the? Wait, what is going on? Wait, okay, okay, I gotta remove an admin. I think he keeps deleting super chats. That's super weird. That's a little weird. Yeah. Fuck. Okay, but how do I get that? But thank you, Serpenthrope. I'm sorry your super chat got deleted by that fucking admin. What the hell? Okay, hello, Doc. How are you holding up? Okay, got the super chat in before the admin deleted it again. John Simmons, thank you for the super chat. I'm doing fine. I just have an admin who's fucking with me right now. Okay, god damn it. God damn it. Okay. Hopefully he doesn't delete any more super chats. I'm getting pissed. Alex isn't even here? What the hell is going on with the super chat? Okay. Oh, god, that pissed me off. But we gotta start now. I'm sorry. Okay, well, I don't know how to quite fix the admin situation while I'm in the middle of the stream, so hopefully, I guess maybe there's some kind of bug with him if he isn't even here. It's strange how the super chat is going on. Okay, but anyway, greetings, I'm your host, Dr. Wolfula. Welcome to the Die-In Theater streams, my little home away from home for movie viewing, especially during these trying times. You need to be able to watch some films and, you know, be able to hang out with people. And there's no better option than a drive-in theater. It's the ultimate social distancing experience while watching films. It's so great. You're just in your own car. You have total privacy. You could fuck each other during a drive-in theater viewing too. That's great. That's awesome. Oh boy, and it's even better if you're streaming, because then you're just like in your own home. And what the hell is going on? I'm getting really pissed off. Like, I guess, what is going on? So, something's going on with the, okay. Oh wait, I can manage moderators. Let me fix it. I think I figured out how to get rid of moderators just now in the middle of the stream. Let me see. Okay, I see, yeah, I see him. Okay, I deleted that moderator and I've saved. Okay, I'm in the middle of the stream doing this. Okay, hopefully that's fixed. All right, awesome. Now let's get to the actual movie we'll be playing right now. I got another super chat that got deleted. I deleted that moderator. I don't know what's going on. That's strange. Okay, but thank you for the super chat donation, Fernando Prado. I am about to stream a movie. Tonight's featured presentation is Night of the Living Dead. And wait, Goulash, you've been there that whole time? I thought you were... Okay, whatever. Okay, well, good. Crown the Empire, I deleted that admin, so now you are totally cool now. Thank you. Thank you for so many super chats. I'm sorry about the little hiccup. Very strange, but thank you for the super chat. And now we are about to watch some Night of the Living Dead, directed by George Romero, starring Dwayne Jones, the late Dwayne Jones. Great man. I am really looking forward to streaming this again. I have streamed this before, but you know... It's been 3 years since the last time, and this movie's a classic. It always deserves some extra streams. Okay, and also I just want to give a little quick promo to my Patreon. So if you'd like to become a patron, you'll get a bonus stream on Sunday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at /6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time of Day of the Dead. And if you can't make it for that time, I'll also have an archive up, so, you know, it's just there if you want to watch it at any point. So just a little bonus stream with people who support me. Alright, now let's begin the actual movie, and let's get this show on the road, and hopefully there's no more admins deleting shit. Let's turn off the music, and turn on the film. Here we go. And the worst fear I have, besides zombies during this stream, is the potential possibility of internet company possibly throttling my internet during the stream. I don't think that's gonna happen. My internet has been pretty strong. It's like, surprisingly strong, like it hasn't really suffered through this whole pandemic, thankfully, but, oh, I thank you for the super chat again, Serpenthrop. I'm sorry your last one got deleted. I think that's fixed now, but thank you. You said, I asked if you're looking forward to Blumhouse Dracula. I don't really know a whole lot about it, but I'm guessing it's gonna be like a modern reimagining. I am looking forward to seeing what they do. I was pleasantly surprised by Invisible Man. I was somewhat hoping they would do some kind of a bit more of a throwback to the old school Universal style, but it seems like they're definitely going to be modernizing. I was kind of hoping they'd have like some goofiness to these movies, but I guess not, unfortunately. Oh well. Oh well. I'm gonna have a chat with that admin after this. I think it was just some kind of bug with YouTube, because it didn't make sense for him to do that. I think he just wasn't here, and there's just some kind of weird bug. Maybe he got hacked too. That's actually a possibility that he might have gotten hacked. Because he's a cool guy. I don't know why he... Yeah, it was probably he got hacked or something. Maybe somebody got on his profile. Damn it. It was very embarrassing early on in the stream, but hopefully that is behind us now. Now, this is probably the best public domain movie available, I think. I think it's safe to say that this movie is probably the best movie you can watch public domain. It's one of the more recent public domain movies. And I think it was, a lot of the times, public domain movies are horror movies that are kind of not, they don't have a lot of care put into them, like, as far as, like, how they're handled, how they're distributed. Like, it's usually handled by some distributor who, like, will just go under at any moment's notice, and the copyright just won't be renewed at all. It's sort of unfortunate, but it's fortunate for us because we can freely stream Night of the Living Dead like till the end of time. Like, there's no company breathing down our necks saying, "Hey, guess what? You can't stream this movie on YouTube." No, I could stream this without getting in trouble. Hell yes. I was actually considering, and also thank you for the super chat, Fernando Prado. I was actually thinking of streaming the extended version, the really bad extended version that the writer of the film, the co-writer of the film did, but I reconsidered because even though that has some new material, because it has new material, it's not public domain, and I'd probably get in trouble for the music rights, unfortunately. And ooh, Ev Gwenny, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. Dracula AD could be a good option. I think, yeah, unfortunately, I was, there's a bit of a zeitgeist going on with the current events, so I was like, well, I did Last Man on Earth last week. It felt like, I still need, like, there's just still, we still need to be able to, like, sort of, be able to get all this pent-up energy out about the, pretty much uncertainty regarding the current events, like, oh god, it's the end of the world. Like, at least this kind of directs that into something where we could just, okay, it's zombies. It's something that's we can understand. Like, I think that's, you know, zombies are a bit like a representation of the plague, but in a more like in a way that's a little bit more fun for people.
There it is.
Okay, well, good thing I don't. Okay, I need some moderators to pay attention to certain comments, because anyway. Now, a little bit of trivia with this scene is that this is actually the last scene that was shot for the movie, the last scene ever that was shot for the movie, which is kind of funny because I think, yeah, it actually is kind of funny. I guess in that case, they must have picked just because the zombie, the initial zombie that appears in this scene, he's reused a lot throughout the movie. So maybe when they were shooting the parts that they shot first, they were like, let's bring back that zombie. He looked the most interesting. Let's make him the main zombie that we introduce people to, because he has the most unusual face. I think that might have been how it turned out, like how they decided to keep to sort of introduce people. Like, let's go with the weirdest zombie we had access to during the initial scenes we shot, and just roll with him, make him the representative of the brand. Alright, okay, another super chat. Okay, again, from someone who got deleted before, I'm sorry about that. Regarding last super chat question, if you had to review one movie on VHS, what would it be? On VHS, that's the thing. I mean, is it a movie that's only on VHS? In that case, it's hard to say, because a lot of movies have made it to video, like DVD. I mean, they've made it to DVD and Blu-ray since. I can't think of a movie that's only on VHS. Yeah, that's actually tough. Well, what's a movie that's only on VHS that's never been brought over? I can't really think of one. I feel like nearly, and also thank you for joining the channel memberships, Alan Michael. Oh, this is one of the most iconic lines ever. But I guess a movie that's ideal to watch on VHS, it's honestly probably maybe Evil Dead. Like, that's fun to watch, the original movie. It also had a really cool VHS cover. It has nothing to do with the movie, but it looks almost like one of those bootleg posters you see in, like, South American releases of movies, like one of those weird bootleg covers, but it looks really nice, and I think that was the first way I watched the original movie, and it just, VHS is a great way to see that kind of film. I think that's one of those movies that's definitely, you gotta see it. One of those movies that's best low res. Like, they recently released an Ultra HD version of the movie, and I don't know, I feel like all horror movies should have at least some kind of retro filter option where you can watch it all old school, like with all the just the degradation, all the as if you're watching it on a VHS, because that's a bit of the appeal, I think, a little bit. Like, you know, it's nice to be able to see the movies pristine, how they were shot before, like, getting fucked up on video, but it's also kind of nice to just have a little bit of a nostalgic element to it, I think. Darkness Demon 8 says there's a DVD of Cannibal Holocaust. Yeah, there's definitely a DVD of Cannibal Holocaust. Alright, Nikki Letters says, hey Doc, been watching your videos for a few weeks now, and I'm hooked. So glad I get to watch this with you. Don't ever change. You're awesome. Well, thank you, Nikki Letters. Thank you for the super chat. I really appreciate it. I've been... There's very few positive things about this whole situation, but at least one positive thing is that I can potentially bring people together. On Johnson & Johnson, you don't need to super chat to get recognized. You just need to write a good comment that catches my attention. Usually during a lull in the movie. Like, that's the best option, because if I'm really into the movie, then I might be distracted and might be chatting about something. But if it, you know, just have good timing, because there's gonna be a lot of comments. But one positive thing about this whole experience is that I can hopefully bring people together and entertain people. I noticed that's a lot of, there's been a lot more activity on the channel, a lot more people finding it, and a lot more folks watching the videos, which is very good. That's good for me, at least. Hopefully I can help you guys through this in at least this way. I'd like to do some more streams in the future. It's just somewhat busy, like working on a new sort of video, but I try to make it so I can stream more frequently to give you guys something to watch and do during all this. It fucking sucks. It's pretty much this movie. You're just trapped in a house for an indefinite amount of time. Though, it doesn't really turn out so well for these characters. Just a little bit of a spoiler. Alright, well, let me see, and I love that zombie. I forget his name. I think his last name was Heinzman, but he passed away a few years ago, pretty recently, and so did George Romero, another. John Russo is still alive, though, but he's the guy who's responsible for a lot of... Well, he did Return of the Living Dead. He was at least partially responsible for that movie, and also decent sequel, but a lot of his output as far as the Living Dead movies is John Russo, and not super great. Children of the Living Dead is terrible. He did like a special edition of this movie, also not good. Definitely the less talented between George Romero and John Russo. John Russo is definitely the less talented, but he did contribute some stuff after this movie. To me, it's sort of similar to how Tobe Hooper and what was the co-writer of? I'm trying to remember the co-writer's name of the original movie. Like he wrote and directed Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Next Generation. That movie was not good, and it's sort of an indication that Tobe Hooper is definitely the more talented of the duo. That sometimes happens. It sometimes happens. Kim Henkel, yes. I was definitely thinking, yeah, he has like his first name is Kim. I think it originally made me think it was Kim Henkel was actually a lady, which, you know, would have made sense. Deborah Hill, co-writer of Halloween, wrote that film, and she was a lady too. And I feel like that's something that's missing with a lot of the Halloween movies, is a female presence creatively. I think that's what made the first movie work so well, is having that authentic voice for the female characters. It was something missing with the new movie, especially since they focused a lot of attention on the female characters. But it didn't feel like it felt a little phony. And also, thank you, Cool VHS Reviews, for the super chat. Let me see. Hey Doc, your commitment to YouTube and Pop Bass is incredible. A true Wolfulite hero. I was surprised to see Pop Bass mentioned in there. Hopefully people are trying that out now that it's totally free to play. But thank you for the super chat donation and also the plug. And also, okay, Ev Gwenny, with another super chat. Is it just me, or does the first zombie not seem very hungry? It's like he's more interested in just assaulting people. Well, that's the thing. In John Russo's extended cut of the movie, he actually sort of gives that zombie more of a backstory. He explains that the zombie was, I guess, a murderer, and he was recently killed. I think he was executed, and as they were gonna have his funeral, this whole fucking zombie plague happened, and he broke free. Like, he broke free, and that basically an extended prequel section. So yeah, it's possible, you know, the zombies seem to have, seem to work on their instincts, seem to work on their memories. That seems to influence what they do. So it's very possible that he's not necessarily interested in eating, he's just interested in fucking murdering, because he was a murderer. It's a bit like Frankenstein monster. He was killed. I mean, he was a criminal. Well, in of course the James Whale movie, he was a criminal who his brain was used in the creation of Frankenstein's monster. Frankenstein's monster just had these killer instincts, which were not great, but they weren't his fault. They were Fritz's fault. But Fernando Prado, another super chat. Have you played Doom Eternal? Not yet. I want to get it. I do want to get it, because I really enjoyed Doom 1. Well, I enjoyed the classic Doom games, and also the reboot they did in 2016, so I'm looking forward to playing it eventually. A rare shooter where I was, like, really into it, like, just based on how fun it was. Like, it just was really fun. And here's Dwayne Jones as why am I remember his name as Ben. Why did I forget Ben's name? I was like, oh yeah. Okay, hopefully I beat anyone who was trying to tell me his name. I probably didn't, but I'm gonna end up seeing. But yeah, Dwayne Jones is an unsung hero, I think, in horror. Like, I think he was the first African-American horror hero, which is pretty significant. He was unintentionally cast. Of course they intentionally cast him, but he wasn't playing to the type that they originally wrote for. They wrote for, you know, a gruff truck driver. And thank you for joining the channel memberships, Cool VHS Reviews. They wrote for a gruff truck driver character, and Dwayne Jones was much more of an erudite, like, college, like, just a really smart motherfucker, like, just a college student. He brought a lot of sophistication to the character that was not there in the original version, and it's unfortunate that he passed away in the late 80s, but luckily, fortunately, he did record at least one interview in the late 80s that's on YouTube. So if you have never heard an interview with Dwayne Jones, you should look it up, because it's a very fast... I've listened to it a few times. It's only like, it's less than 20 minutes. I wish it was longer. It's a bit like a podcast in the 80s, actually. But it's just this audio interview that just goes into huge detail about who Dwayne Jones was. It doesn't go into a lot of detail about the making of the movie. You won't learn a whole lot of info. You will, like, get some insider insight, like, about certain things that happened on the set. But it's very clear that he was not into Night of the Living Dead. He was not into the movie itself. He just liked the fans and liked the experience, but he didn't like talking about the movie. But it's very fascinating to just know who he was and hear him and, like, hear his thoughts on certain topics. Like, a very interesting interview. I recommend looking for it and checking it out, because it's fascinating. It's fascinating because there's just not a whole lot of info and details about him, unfortunately, because he died before the internet age. He died before the documentaries really took off, before, like, DVDs really gave us great documentary material. And also, thank you, Alan Michael, for the super chat. I'll address it. Well, look for that interview, because it's the only bit of insight left into this very important actor's life, like, from his perspective. Okay, now I'm going to address the super chat from Alan Michael. Thank you. My name disappeared, so here it is again. Also, SO to Johnson Johnson. I donate this in his name. Oh, okay, thank you. Thank you for the super chat. Cool VHS Review says the remake of this movie is a little better in my opinion. That movie was definitely, it felt like George Romero trying to do a correction. The remake was directed by Tom Savini, and, but written by George Romero, and it felt like definitely trying to adapt it more than the 90s, and it worked very well. I thought it was a good remake, but I think the original is better. But there were certain things, I felt like there were certain things in the remake there where it went a little too far. I thought Barbara's character in this movie is pretty useless. Apparently when they originally wrote it, they wrote her to be much more assertive, much more of a powerful character, but then when they had the actress, they decided, oh, it'll probably work better if she's all fainting and scared and shit. But, unfortunately, just not a great characterization, but it was kind of its time. But in the 90s remake, they decided, let's make her, like, much more of a strong, dynamic character. And it worked for a while, but then it just went way too over the top, where she suddenly becomes, Sarah Connor all of a sudden at the end, like, just over the top, like, just way too much character development in such a short amount of time. I didn't really, I thought it was just a little goofy, kinda. Just a little goofy and over the top. Like, I liked, you know, I'm fine with that characterization. I just didn't feel like there was much of a, at least based on the last time I watched it, I just didn't feel like there was a ton of, progression, like enough, like that, to me, the way she acted, it felt like, this is how you act in, like, a sequel to this movie, if they made a sequel. Like, you just don't turn into that all of a sudden. It was just too quick. It felt like he was really trying to apologize to people, but, you know, just don't make her a total pussy. Just like build up to, like, just, if you make a sequel, you might as well do that, but I don't know. It kind of would have been neat if it was like a sequel, but then again, it wouldn't have worked, actually, since the original movie ends pretty cut and dry. Like, yeah, you wouldn't be able to make a sequel to this, in the sense that you continue these characters. They, of course, made sequels to this. Dawn of the Dead is the first sequel, but that follows totally different characters. It would have been kind of neat to see Romero do that, though, where he made, like, some kind of sub-series where it followed, where, like, it had certain characters and it followed them from one movie to the next. It would have been neat to see him do that with the films. He did kind of have characters from Diary of the Dead appear in Island of the Dead or Survival of the Dead. I get a little confused about what they're called. But besides that, hasn't really had Romero's career. And no, like, he was going to make some more movies. I would have liked it. I mean, his last few movies weren't as good, but I honestly liked Diary of the Dead. I saw a lot of people hate it, and there was just some cheesy moments, but I thought it was a nice experiment with found footage. Like, it felt like a neat kind of take on zombies. Like, it felt like he was really trying to, it felt like with a lot of his movies, he's just trying, with his zombie movies, he was just trying to innovate, and sometimes it just didn't work. Like, and that's what happens sometimes with experimental shit. Sometimes it just doesn't work with people. It doesn't quite resonate, and it isn't quite, you know, it doesn't quite reach its full potential due to budgetary limitations. A lot of the times it's just budgetary limitations. I feel like that's a problem with Day of the Dead. Day of the Dead is a great movie, but it's clear when you watch it that Romero had a lot more he wanted to do with the movie that he just couldn't do. Like, he just couldn't do it. He didn't have the budget. He just didn't have the budget. And it kind of just made it. It's clear that he wanted to make something much more massive, but he kind of had to pull it back, and we'll probably never get that. I think that was what he was trying to do with Land of the Dead, but even that didn't quite work out. But thank you to Marcus Tepes for the super chat. Awesome stream as always, Doc. Excellent choice. Well, thank you. I did stream this before, but I felt like it's been 3 years since the last one, and this movie is a lot of the ideas of this movie are really are really fresh in people's minds. I think it was just a nice time to stream it again. But Harold Penisman says, "Is this possibly Cosby time?" I'm not gonna sully Dwayne Jones's name by associating him with Bill Cosby. If there's a zombie I feel is Cosby-esque, I might whip out the voice. But then again, I feel like the dude we're about to meet down in the basement is kind of Cosby-esque. He's not a black guy, but there's something a little Cosby-esque about his character. But yeah, it's sort of interesting because Dwayne Jones's character, Ben, he's just the most on top of things, like from the very beginning. It's almost as if he's like a prepper, or he knows what a zombie apocalypse well, like what you need to do during a zombie apocalypse already, like just completely aware. Like and it's clear that there is a backstory that we don't see, and obviously much more interesting to explore in that extended version that John Russo did. But of course, Dwayne Jones was dead, and thankfully they did not recast him for a necessary prequel scene. But there is an interesting backstory to him that just is unexplored. Like, he's a truck driver. We don't know anything about his character beyond that, not much. But we do know that he did have some experiences with these zombies, and I think maybe he just had the most advanced experience. I think this, well, of course, Barbara is from out of town. She's completely out of town, so maybe this is something that's developing more in this area, and Barbara and her brother did not encounter these zombies up to this point, or just didn't notice them. And much more from Ben's direction, things were much more heavy. Like, there was probably an amount of zombies comparable to what you see in, like, Dawn of the Dead or even Day of the Dead. Like, just an extremely advanced amount of zombies. Just crazy amount of zombies. And, yeah, who knows what he did up to this point. Who knows how long this has been going on, really. But there is a backstory, and it's clear that he knows exactly what he should be doing, and the other characters are completely just really, that's the whole idea of this movie, is that we all have to stick together and cooperate with each other. That's the ultimate message. And none of these characters really are team players, really. None of them are team players. They're not team players, and that's the downfall. Is during these crises, during a crisis like the one currently being experienced, you just need to don't be a dick. Don't have an us versus them mentality. Like, George Romero was ahead of the curve. Like, he was ahead of the curve. He knew exactly what people were capable of, and he exploited it in film very well. I think definitely these movies just have a lot of actual lessons to them, and they aren't just entertaining zombie movies, and it adds a little bit of another layer of appreciation to them. Now, I'm going to turn my attention to the chat and see if there's any interesting comments. Now, Dorky Dark Type asked, would this movie be offensive to Goulash? Potentially. He feels like these movies are not an accurate portrayal of zombies. But who really gives a shit? Because he's like, oh, zombies don't really eat flesh. They just eat pancakes. Like, they just go to IHOP and eat pancakes, and that's it. And they are completely capable of speech and have normal intelligence. But you know what? I think he's a dumb motherfucker. I think he needs to shut up, okay? Now, let's address another comment. Let me see. Alright. Let me see. Eternal Horror asks, how much toilet paper you got, Doc? I've got enough to... I actually built a fortress of toilet paper deep beneath the Wolfulair. I am safe for now. Something I haven't shown is that there is actually a small army of individuals who are really starting to build up. Like, I have a lot of defenses out there, but they're really starting to figure things out and get wise to the fact that I'm hoarding toilet paper. And unfortunately, I think they might break through. I'm going to have to, after this stream, figure out some way to prevent that from happening. I'm actually a little scared. I kind of watched this. I'm watching this movie now to relieve tension, but they're really starting to break through a lot of the barriers surrounding my home. It's not going to turn out for me very well, I don't think. Alan Michael says, Doc, let's do Shaun of the Dead next Sunday. Yeah, possibly. Yeah, possibly we could stream that for patrons and channel members. I'll think about it. But then again, well, I don't know if I'd want to talk over an Edgar Wright dialogue. There's so much funny dialogue in there. But, you know, I guess we could have just a leisure stream. Podcastage says, hope this isn't a repeat question. Favorite zombie film as podcastage? Oh, well, that's easy. Dawn of the Dead. It is definitely my favorite zombie movie. I love the setting of the mall. I feel like it's just the perfect location for a zombie movie. It's just this big, wide open area. It's this obvious area. It's this place where people would congregate. There's a lot of social satire to the use of that location. It's just a nice... It's just a really great movie. I think the only weakness I have with the movie is the crowd scene zombies makeup, unfortunately, isn't very good, but it's just because they were limited. Like, they had limited time and budget, so they couldn't have, like, really next level of effects for every zombie, but certain key zombies have really great effects, and the effects overall are great. It's just some of the crowd scene zombies are a little rough around the edges, but other than that, I feel like it's just the original Dawn of the Dead is just a really well done movie, I think. Marina Melinda Rivera has a super chat. Long time no talk. I hope you're doing well during this whole thing. Yes, I'm doing well, and it's great to have folks show up. Thank you for the super chat. It's great to have folks show up for a little stream and hang out with me during these trying times. It's just a nice. It's nice to be able to reconnect with folks. It's nice to be able to reconnect with folks.
Johnny ran away.
It's a real boon, these streams. It's like, it's almost as if nothing is going wrong, but unfortunately things are going wrong. There's tensions are mounting beyond my barriers. They really want that toilet paper really bad. They really want the toilet paper, and I'm not really gonna give it up. I think I'm probably gonna go down fighting. I think I'm gonna go down fighting after this stream is said and done. Oh well. I think it's worth it. I think it's worth it to die over toilet paper. They did they were on like a megaphone earlier saying that they'll spare me. And I think they also mentioned something about having goulash, but goulash is here, so I guess maybe they were bluffing. But I think they will let me go if I give them the toilet paper, but that's not fucking happening. That's not fucking happening at all.
We have to wait for Johnny.
They can go fuck off and die, I think. I think I need all that toilet paper.
We better go out and
I mean, I don't shit an extreme amount, but I honestly, I think that's more toilet paper than 7 lifetimes can use. That's actually, let's be real, it's more toilet paper than 20 lifetimes will ever use down beneath the wolfie layer. But yeah, no, I'm not gonna give it up. I'm sorry. It's my toilet paper. I bought it. Well, I didn't buy it. I actually somewhat responsible for the shortages of toilet paper. I rigged some toilet paper trucks to you know, accidentally crash, and maybe their shipments of toilet paper got accidentally missing. But you know, it's all my toilet paper, okay? It's just how it is. Cyberruck asks, did you make goulash or find him? With a super chat. Well, thank you. Did I make goulash or find him? I did make him. If I had found him, I would probably have sent him back. If I found this motherfucker, I definitely would not bring him into my home. That's for sure. So yeah, I definitely made him. And I regret that every day. I regret it so bad. But you know, that's life. We all have our regrets. And, my regret is a green, useless motherfucker. But this is a little promo. I'd just like to say that he is going to be making videos every other Tuesday of Goosebumps episodes. So, he's a useless motherfucker, but watch his videos, because it helps me. It helps me out. It benefits me greatly. I don't personally appreciate him, but I think you should watch the videos no matter what. that's my prerogative. I think you should watch the videos no matter what, even if the content is just watching Dwayne Jones hammer some nails onto a board. You know, even if I decided, let's make the rest of the stream a loop of him just hammering boards to a wall or a window, you know, that's fine. Just keep watching. Keep watching no matter what. No matter what. Now, I think there's an exposed ass from one of the zombies. Oh, wait, I think maybe some full frontal, too. So, I guess I should maybe be ready for that, but it's not that big of a deal. This movie is on YouTube. It's not really a big deal. It's not really pornographic. If you're watching this movie, like, oh, I wonder, like, I guess somebody must have jacked off to the naked zombie in this movie. That's a little weird to think about, but you never know. I guess at least one person, I think it's safe to say that at least one person has jacked off to the naked zombie in this movie. And I salute that person. They're a greater man than me. Or maybe they're a woman, you never know. You never know. Zoe Skaggs says, I love your Blair Witch Project review. Yes, that review was a labor of love. Unfortunately, not a lot of folks watched it, but put a lot of effort into that video. Hopefully more people will watch it over time, but yeah, I was a little disappointed when not a lot of folks watched it. But we'll see. Hopefully in the long run, it'll gain a wider audience. That was probably the most effort I ever put into a video. Oh well. Those goulash segments were a pain in the ass to do. And it just tells me maybe not do those as much again. But maybe in the future do some more of those. But yeah. Yeah, it's honestly, all the hallmarks are established in this movie. It's just, it feels like this movie's kind of a prototype or a pilot episode for zombie movies, kinda. Zombies existed before this movie. They were a concept, and of course this movie adapts I Am Legend's. It sort of takes established zombies we know today going forward, which are kind of technically a ripoff of I Am Legend vampires, but still, that's irrelevant. That's irrelevant still. This movie is what basically made zombies what we know today. And you can see a lot of the early elements that are familiar now. In a lot of ways, this movie kind of rips off I Am Legend / The Last Man on Earth, but it also, a lot of movies rip off this movie as well. So it's pretty amazing, kind of, how that happens in horror sometimes. It's just a ripoff of a ripoff, and it's just like an established subgenre, eventually. That's just how it works, really. But yeah, it's a bit of a prequel / prototype. You could see the zombies are sort of taking shape in this movie, but they're not quite zombies yet. I don't think they're called zombies in this movie. They're not called zombies. I actually kind of wonder, have they been called zombies in any of the mainstream Dead movies? I don't think so. I think usually they're just called the Undead or the Living Dead or something, but in this movie they're not called zombies. I think they're just called the Living Dead, or ghouls, or flesh eaters, or things, but they're definitely not called zombies yet. I don't know if they were even making this movie thinking of them as zombies under the name zombies. I don't think that was an established thing I think they were just like, well, let's do something like I Am Legend and just have some undead beings outside. I think that was pretty much the concept, and it just sort of evolved into zombies, pretty much. Now, let me see. I think maybe I got a super chat, and... Oh, wait, I did. So, I got a super chat from Cyberruck. Thanks so much for the midnight movie niche. Oh, thanks so much for keeping the midnight movie niche alive from Cyberruck. Well, thank you. I do like this sort of old-school style. I like to have a bit of nostalgia, nostalgic element to my videos. It's something I think really... it really adds to the flavor of my videos. Just a nice sort of throwback appeal. There are plenty of horror host, like old school style horror host characters who are still around, like from actual OG horror host characters that are still around. And well, I guess Elvira isn't OG, but Elvira and Svengoolie are OG, because Svengoolie is Elvira is a bit of a takeoff of Vampira, and Svengoolie is the second Svengoolie. He was originally son of Svengoolie, and kind of a sequel to Svengoolie, an authorized sequel, but then eventually he just became Svengoolie. But yeah, the second wave horror hosts, some of them are still kicking around, and there's new waves of horror hosts on the internet, like Screaming Soup, and also the maniacal cinephile. I'm aware, so it's sort of nice keeping it alive through the internet, because it's not something that is really... It's not something that can really be on TV as much, unfortunately. Of course, Svengoolie is still going strong, thankfully, but not a lot of, and also Joe Bob. There's Joe Bob Briggs, but I'm talking more about like horror hosts that play like a scary character, essentially, like that aren't, because Joe Bob, he is playing a character, but it's sort of an exaggerated version of him, but it's not the same as like Elvira, but he is a horror host. Yeah, there are horror hosts that are kind of just guys who just play an exaggerated version of themselves. Oh, well, I'm surprised there aren't more dead bodies in this farmhouse. It makes you wonder what happened in this farmhouse. There's just sort of this sort of story, like, just sort of this ambiguous storytelling element just through environmental storytelling. Where you're just like, what happened in this farmhouse? How did that guy end up dying? How come he is not an undead zombie? I guess that guy was maybe becoming a zombie or became a zombie. Whoever else occupied the house came in, or maybe the family down in the basement maybe killed that zombie. I don't know. It's so ambiguous. It's a little pretty interesting. And George Coquino says, "You'll never review Mistress of the Dark, huh?" I've thought about reviewing that movie for a long time. I would like to. I would definitely like to review it, because I think it's a fun movie, and I think there's a lot of potential to reviewing it. I don't know. Yeah, I should. I should review it. I've actually been meaning to review it for a while. I just never got around to it. But yeah, but honestly, it's fine that a lot of people are saying it's sad that there aren't horror hosts on TV anymore. But here's the thing. I think this is kind of an improvement, because you don't really need a huge budget for a horror host. And on the internet, you reach a wider audience than on TV. And also, TV is kind of on the way out, pretty much. Like, it's sort of dying a slow death. So it's just sort of like, I'm trying to keep things old school style. I'm trying to stay true to the old school roots, like the stylistic roots of horror hosts, but I'm also adapting to times. That's pretty much all you can do. And just like making sure, like just taking you know, the sort of new technology, but still staying true to this style, where it's just like, you know, I'm streaming this, but it's kind of like on TV. I guess the unfortunate downside to this is I do not have a bunch of writers, and this is just a sort of loose hangout stream, but you know, with my reviews and my other written videos, like, that's where I put all my energy into the humor and stuff, so all that stuff is where it's really at, technically, but it's still fun to kind of, I would like to hopefully someday, and it is Rob Corddry, yeah, I always think that guy is Rob Corddry, as Adam Fink points out. I would like to hopefully someday, I guess, maybe be able to write these streams out where there's actual, like, where they're actually riffs, like Mystery Science Theater with jokes pretty much figured out beforehand, and I'm reading off a script. But yeah, that would take a lot of work and a lot of time. It would be very easy to fuck up. It would be very easy to fuck up. I went to a live MST3K though, and I was amazed that they were able to, like, there was no fuck-ups. Like, it was just totally perfect. That's something I would love to do. It's just, it would take a long time to do. I would like to at least one day do a full riff commentary where there's, like, where it's all written. It's not unscripted. I would like to do that someday, hopefully. But yeah, this is where the conflict exists in the movie between people, and the funny thing is, the conflict, it's sort of, like, Ben pretty much just walked into this conflict. There was no conflict. Like, Barbara is kind of a useless character. She's kind of, sort of our introduction to the zombies, but she's not, actually useful to the plot. She just kind of was there to establish the zombies and make them appear to be a big threat, since she's so helpless. But then once Ben enters the picture, the movie is pretty much about him and his conflict between his conflict with this fucking bald dad. He probably would have picked a different farmhouse, or a different house in general, if he knew that this guy was here. It's all about, well, if you're in a difficult situation, you gotta be willing to compromise and play things safe. But, you know, actually the irony is that the seller dude, he was kind of, sort of right, sort of. He was kind of right in his idea of how to handle the undead crisis. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if that is Rob Corddry's dad. It looks just like him. I kind of would love to see another remake of Night of the Living Dead with Rob Corddry in it, playing that guy. I feel like it would be perfect casting, though it would probably be a comedy, but I wouldn't mind, like, maybe a comedic remake of this movie. It would be at least a little different, like where it is this movie, but it's just got jokes. I'm surprised that's never been done with any of the remakes. Well, I guess there's been spoofs, though. There's been some dub versions. I remember G4 aired Night of the Tripping Dead, which is kind of somewhat amusing, but it's a lot of the jokes just fall flat. It's just got a very weird premise where all the undead are, like, comedians congregating outside of it earlier. It's just a nice bit of funny nostalgia, and it's just this weird thing you can sort of find on TV late at night. I do miss that about TV. I miss, like, finding weird shit late at night, just sort of coming across it, and also discover, like, I feel like it was a great way to discover stuff. That's something I'm hoping streaming services introduce is, oh, there's an ass. Whatever, who cares? It's fucking an ass from, like, 50 years ago. It's whatever. Yeah, it's nudity, whatever, it's zombies. If you're gonna jack off to this, it's your fucking problem. It's your fucking problem. But, that's something I hope streaming services introduce, is, I guess, what I would like is, I would like an option on the streaming service to have it be where you select you select your favorite shows, or shows you like, just in general, and you basically can have this to be fine now. Alright, it bounced back. That was scary. Something I would love is a streaming service to have, essentially, they make a randomized playlist that simulates watching TV, and also have bumpers as if you're watching TV, just to have a little bit of TV nostalgia. Because I don't necessarily want to binge watch a show. I don't want to watch a show, like there's some shows I would like to just watch in any order, just randomly play. I would like that. So I would like, for example, I would like Boomerang to have just random cartoons, and they'll just play in just a random order and just shuffled up, and be getting a lot of. Let me know if the stream is going poorly, because apparently it's kind of bouncing back and forth quality-wise, according to my software. Just a random stream that feels like you're just watching TV. That's what I would kind of like, because I miss that.
Let them get hurt too, huh?
But let me know in the chat if the stream is going well. Apparently, OBS is telling me that the stream is kind of dipping in quality here and there. I don't know. Yeah, there's a few stutters. Unfortunately, I think that might be the internet, like, cracking down on stuff. But I think it's fine. No, it seems to be bouncing back and forth. Hopefully, I've been doing this. Hasn't been doing this for the past few weeks, but I think we're starting to see the consequences. I think so many people are online now that the internet companies have to kind of sort of reduce how much speed you get. So hopefully it goes a little better.
They want to stay up there and let them.
Simon Auspis says, kind of hard to tell when quality goes down, LOL. Is the quality that bad?
Man and a girl.
Because I do have it set to 720p, but it shouldn't be that bad.
Take any unnecessary chances.
Of course not.
I hope it's not that bad. I'm trying my best here. Lance Davis says, hit that like button. I agree with him. Okay, I think we're past the point where it's getting all laggy, I think. According to my... I mean, YouTube has shown me it's been completely in the green this whole time, so... I think a lot of people who said it's been choppy here and there, I think that's your internet connection potentially fucking up, because so many people are on the internet. Because I've been getting green all night. And my internet earlier today said it was 300 megabits per second, which is pretty fucking good. Okay. I'm not... Okay, well. I'm gonna move on from the quality and lagging talk. I'm just gonna focus on the stream itself. On the movie we're watching, the classic film. Honestly, it's kind of amazing how long it takes before
What do you mean by that?
the Rob Corddry character shows up and introduces himself, because he's the main antagonist of the film. He doesn't show up until pretty late, and I think it's just because if he showed up earlier, then there's no way Ben would have gotten anything done, and they'd probably be screwed faster.
There's a radio upstairs and you boarded us in down here?
But he's very duplicitous. He doesn't tell the truth to his wife. He's not a good... Not necessarily... He's a good dad, kinda. He does care about his daughter enough to want her to be safe down in the basement. But it's not the... It isn't the best idea, kind of, to blindly... He was right in the end, not to get too spoily, but you should have seen this movie by now. This is one of the essential movies you should see eventually, but he was right in the end, but
we may not enjoy living together.
In practice, like the premise of barricading yourself down in a basement blindly without any preparation, without any supplies or anything during a zombie apocalypse, not a great idea unless you fortify the rest of the house. It's not a good idea, because you're just gonna end up trapped down there. You're gonna have to wait and hope that there will be rescue in a timely fashion, and no one can really know for sure how it's gonna turn out, so it's not a great idea. It did work out, kind of, but even then, still, it didn't work out. It didn't work out 100%, but...
Okay, open up.
Oh, and John Ho says, I have it on Criterion Blu-ray. I kind of want that. I have like honestly, if you're a horror fan, you should have like, I've had a few copies of Night of the Living Dead on DVD, and it's hard to warrant getting a Blu-ray copy, but I kind of want it. I would like to get it. It's just sort of hard because it's so easy to get your hands on so many different copies of the movie. I have, I did get the 40th anniversary DVD copy, which is the only... Well, okay, also the Criterion one was, like, before he died, George Romero authorized it, but I also have the DVD that he authorized for the 40th anniversary, I think the 2008 edition, and it has some good special features, has a really great documentary and stuff, but I saw the Criterion one, and that's something I don't like about Criterion that much. I don't feel like they have a lot of special features in the form of, like, they have a lot of archival material and a lot of just interviews, but I like documentaries and featurettes a lot, and it's something I feel like Criterion lacks in a lot of ways. I feel like they just want to present pretty much unedited material to fans, but you know, I like documentaries and stuff. I wish they did more of that more frequently. They do that sometimes, but sometimes they'll just have like unedited interviews, and I don't know, I feel like Scream Factory has better horror, like I feel like when they do that, they make it like just as definitive as you'd ever want, like for a collector's edition of a DVD or Blu-ray of a horror movie. Like, I got The Thing, and it has everything you'd ever want. It has everything you'd ever want as a fan. It has, I think, 3 commentaries. It has the documentary that Universal made for the original DVD edition. It has fucking just interviews with all the cast. It has also unedited material. It has the TV version of The Thing. Like, they go above and beyond. Like, I really recommend getting, if you're stuck inside for a long period of time, get yourself a Scream Factory DVD or Blu-ray. I think they're above and beyond with you'll have so much stuff to listen to and watch, not just the core movie, but if you're a fan of movies, you'll have just so much cool shit so much extra cool shit to look at, find out pretty much every detail you'd ever want to know. And I think The Thing, Scream Factory, Blu-ray or DVD, that's the one to start with, to start a collection with. And that's the one where I was like, yeah, that's the best movie they got in Scream Factory. I think that's the best movie that's had a Scream Factory release. So that's definitely the best, best place to start, I think.
Play with the rabbit ears.
Incredible as they seem.
Oh, here we go. The old CRT TV.
Mass hysteria. What do they think? We're imagining all this? Shut up!
In all parts of the wave of murder which is sweeping the eastern third of the...
It actually takes a long time. That's another thing. It takes a long time to have, to establish the fact that, like, to have, like, the characters sort of discuss this stuff and figure out what's going on. Like, they don't really go out of their way to be like, what's going on? What are those things? There's not a whole lot of context. There's not a whole lot of discussion. There's just a lot of conflict or a lot of silence. And they just sort of show these things, and you're slowly, like, you're stuck with this limited POV too, where the characters have all the same information. I feel like that's something that's unfortunate with any situation. You have a very limited perspective, so you don't know what necessarily is going on, who to trust, and that's something I really like about Romero movies. He doesn't really pull things back. And I have a cat chatting a lot. I'm gonna try to quiet this cat down by having him go on my lap and hopefully having him whine a little less. Please sit on my lap. I'm giving you attention, cat. I'd appreciate not hearing meowing, and I appreciate you not trying to get all kinds of attention in the middle of a stream. God damn it, just sit down. Just sit down and let me pet you. Okay, there we go. I got a cat. Hopefully he shuts the fuck up during the stream. But yeah, that's something I love about the Romero movies is, oh, I'm sorry Billy Zane left the chat. He's a great actor. He deserves an Oscar. If only he was still here to hear that. But that's something I love about Romero movies, is that it's always in the present, and it's always following just this core cast of characters that don't know what's going on. Like, there's never a lot of exposition. I'm not gonna hurt the cat. The cat is sitting on my lap right now, and hopefully he stops fucking talking. Yeah. He's just chilling out now. I think he just wanted some attention. He usually bothers me during streams. It's fucking annoying. God damn it. You have a cat too? What's his name? This cat is named Jump Scare. He's a little bitch. He's a little fucking bitch. What are you? I'm just petting you. Calm down. God damn it. Okay. Okay, Eddie Herta says, well, where in continuity is Children of the Living Dead with this movie? Children of the Living Dead is John Russo's prequel to this movie. I think maybe it might be... it's definitely not part of the Romero continuity, but it's definitely a prequel to this movie. I think it's part of John Russo's Return of the Living Dead continuity. That's something you find out getting into these movies, is that there's kind of two continuities between the films. There's the Russo continuity, which is Return of the Living Dead. He also did like an extended version of this movie. And then there's the Romero continuity, which is Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead, and so forth. And they kind of just went their separate ways, pretty much. Russo's continuity, not as good overall, but you know, Return of the Living Dead is great. Also, the sequel is fine too. Everything after that, some diminishing returns. There's some fun stuff though in there. But largely, the better series is Romero's. But even that, diminishing returns eventually, even with that. But it's, you know, it's hard to still be a great director and writer going into your old age. Just try to really tap into the youthful energy you had to begin with, the interesting ideas you were tapping into. You know, it kind of... it sort of eventually happens a lot of the time. Scorsese has been pretty good. He's been pretty good going into his old age. But a lot of, you know, there's not a lot of really consistent horror directors out there, unfortunately. Dry Bowser, your computer froze? Well, that's not good. Hopefully that's just your computer. Oh, wait, okay, wait. Could have sworn I saw someone, someone in the chat that was familiar to me, but I guess I was just imagining things. Oh well.
Judy and I are both from
Kigmac Gaming says, Doc, is it a wolf-feel cat? No, it's just a regular cat. It's just a regular cat.
The old house was here, and we came in and found the lady upstairs dead. Then these other people came. We went down into the basement.
Okay, well,
put a bar across the door.
there's a lot of questions about if I've seen movies. You know? Oh, but Mad Dog McCree asked, Doc, what do you think of the remake with Tony Todd? I've gone into it a bit, but I like it overall. I think it was a very good remake. It's fun to watch. It's different in a lot of ways, but still close to the original. It's kind of just if this movie was made in the 90s with a larger budget, but that's pretty much it. But honestly, it was made because this movie is public domain. So here's the thing. Since this movie is public domain, any of you can make you can make anything with this movie. You can make a remake, you can make a sequel, you can make there's been a few just different unauthorized things because this movie is public domain. So with that remake, the 90s remake, the first remake, Romero found out that there's efforts being put in, like there's going to be a remake of this movie. So he was like, okay, the cat just decided to leave. Thank God. Okay. But Romero found out that there's going to be a remake of this movie, so he was like, okay, I'm going to beat them to the punch and make my own. And we'll finally make money off of this movie. And he did it, and it's a pretty good strategy, I think. Beat him to the punch if you can, because this is public domain. Pretty much don't have to go through anybody.
Thank you, Judy.
The body should be disposed of.
And in that case, it kind of does also mean you can make, well, no, you can't. You can't really make you could make sequels to this, but there's not really any. It would just be a zombie movie. There's no real characters, and zombies are kind of generic, and there's nothing about the zombies in this movie that really jump out at you. I love the how extreme the response to the zombies are at this point. Like, even this early on, they're like, shoot them in the head, set them on fire, like, just go to town on them, because that's pretty much all you can.
Hey, there's a big can
Oh my god, okay, I keep seeing Caesar Guy's chat. Okay, it's finally time to put him out of his misery and send him to the wood chipper. Okay, goodbye, Caesar Guy. And just so you know, if you guys haven't joined my Discord, that's something I do on the Discord, is when I ban someone, they get added to the wood chipper, which means they get killed in real life, but also they not only get killed in real life, but their name also gets added to a channel called the Wood Chipper, that their name is permanently engraved and immortalized in there for everyone to see. Billy Zane, you came back? Well, that's surprising. Who's my favorite actor besides you? Well, this might hurt your feelings, but it's Leonardo DiCaprio. I'm sorry to say that to you, Billy. I'm sorry to say that to you. Ah, yes. Caesar has been added to the wood chipper. Well, I've got some mods. I don't know why they didn't... I added a few mods. Let me see. I'll keep an eye out for some more people, like, because I need people to be mods who are gonna show up, who are free for these streams, and also willing to pay attention to the chat and make sure there isn't spam, anything like that. You tried to add me on Discord, KarenNet, but you couldn't find me. Well, I have a... Well, actually, I took down the link recently, but I'll put up a link to my Discord again, because I realize a lot of people probably want to join and have something to do during all this, like somewhere to hang out and talk about horror. So, I'll try to add the Discord link. Maybe tomorrow, I think. Maybe I want to make sure the most people possible will be able to see it. And, yeah, it's good to know the Discord is dope. Here's the thing about my Discord server. It's not like I have, like, an intern or just some random guy run it and, basically make everything in it. No, I run the Discord myself. And I am active in the Discord. I am always looking at the Discord, and yeah, it's not gonna be it's not a thing where, okay, it's like a Dr. Wolfula Discord in name only, but he's never there. No, I run it completely. I'm the guy who is in charge of all the decisions in there. I make all the emojis in there. I pretty much do everything in the Discord, but I also have admins in there, but they mostly just run things by me and decide, is this okay? And I say, yeah, that's okay, or is it... And sometimes I'll be like, no, that's not okay. You definitely delete that.
Remember when we had the big flood?
But yeah, it's a fun place, so if you haven't joined yet, keep an eye out for any invites.
This isn't a passing thing, huh?
It's fun. It's fun. That's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, I'm active in there. I'm not a...
We've got to do something, and fast.
Crazy Jamie says, I'd love to be on your Discord, but I'm poor. Anyone can join the Discord. You just have to pay attention when I put the invites out, because I don't want the Discord to be overwhelmed by people. It's free to join. You just need to... The invites are just temporary. Pretty much. You can get in... like instantaneously if you are like a Patreon supporter, but and you can get in like, well, yeah, that's pretty much it. But I'll be opening it up again. I'll have another link up tomorrow. But yeah, I mean, Patreon supporters do get some VIP access, but besides that, and they also get to access it at any point. They don't have to wait for like me to put an invite out, but I'll put another invite out and you'll be able to join, so don't worry. Don't worry. I'll have another invite out. It's become a place for anyone to join now. I just have invites out every now and then just so it doesn't get overwhelmed with new arrivals, because that can get a little a little hectic when there's just a huge influx of people over the course of a huge period of time. But it'll be open again tomorrow. So look at my social media and look at my community tab, and you'll see an invite link. Okay, I'm gonna move on from the Discord. I just like to reiterate things sometimes. But yeah, there's starting to be more of a team effort between the characters, but there's still the dissent between the characters, and between Ben, I keep calling him Dwayne, but his name is Ben in this movie, the character, between Ben and Rob Corddry. Unfortunately, there's just this huge rift, and they just can't, cooperate at all. Like, they're just these two entities working against each other, working independently from each other, and that can't work out. That can never work out. Like, that's what you, in this situation, that's what. God, oh God. Okay, I just got a chat from I just got a comment from a guy named King of Conolingus, and he asked if he can be an admin. No, you can't. No, you cannot. You don't even have a profile picture. Like, no, you can't. I'm sorry. It's not gonna happen. But thank you for asking. Oh, Johnson. I hate to be that guy, but what happened was, you got added to the wood chipper because you were kind of being a little rowdy in there. But maybe I'll let you back in. But you were riling people up a little bit. Okay, let me see. I want to address one more comment, and then I'll redirect my attention to the movie. I want to be able to, just... Yeah, that's actually... Loser says, damn, those fire stunts look dangerous. Yeah, that's something I do love about old school horror movies, is that they have, like, a lot of the times real stunts. A lot of real stunts, and the effects, of course, are all real. There's not, like, digital effects like, they fucking can't do that. So there's just fire, like, all over the place, just loose. And the characters have to be around real fire, and have to hold shit that's on fire, and be on fire too. They probably don't have any insurance for that. Like, but that's something that's cool. Like, it's not ideal. It's not a good idea, because you don't. It's the same thing with Cannibal Holocaust. Like, they put a lot of people in danger, but it does get results at the end of the day. You do get much more of a visceral, realistic experience with your horror movie. And I do kind of miss that about a lot of older horror movies. The sense of, like, these actors are in actual real danger making this movie. That's something I love about Evil Dead, the original Evil Dead, and to a slightly lesser extent, Evil Dead 2. Like, that one felt a little more, like it was a little bit more of a safer production. I think a lot of it was shot on a soundstage with that movie. Because they definitely elevated things a bit, but the first movie, like, it just feels like that cabin, you could, like, just actually, like, have a nail scrape you or something and just die. Like, I don't know, it's just something really dangerous and grimy and real. It's also the same thing with Texas Chainsaw Massacre, like, just this dangerous production. Just this dangerous, sketchy production. Because it's made at a certain time during filmmaking. It's an independent movie. It's cheap, and they have limited. They just have limited everything, so they have to do certain things for real. Like this, they have to be around fire in a car, and it's. Come on. It can't be cool, but. These are actually the first casualties. No, that's not true, but. Out of the main group, these are the first casualties. Of course, the brother was killed earlier in the film. But yeah, it's actually kind of funny. They're the first casualties in the group, but they're not really, not really killed by zombies. They're just killed by their own fuck-up, kinda, sorta. Though, you know, the zombies are partially responsible. I mean, that's the thing, is... That's the key thing. To me, what makes a good zombie movie is there's gotta be the obvious conflict of zombies. Like, you cannot forget about the zombies. You cannot have the zombies get overshadowed by something else. The zombies have to be a clear threat throughout. Like, a clear, lingering threat that adds tension. But you also need to have tension between humans. Like, you need to have the human tension. I feel like some zombie movies miss the boat in certain ways. There's either not enough attention put to the zombies, or like the conflict between the human characters just is not all that prevalent. But thank you for the super chat, John Ho. I appreciate the animated emoji. Very cute. It's a pear that's blowing kisses. Wow, that's very cute. But yeah, Jason Orland says barbecue time. It honestly kind of surprises me how the zombies were eating the charred remains, the blown up remains of the people. They'll just eat any flesh, I guess. They don't really mind. I guess it's probably good. I guess it's probably some good meat, though. Billy Zane, I'm starting to think maybe I should. I'm starting to think maybe I should make Billy Zane a mod. I think that would be a good idea. God, I'm getting a little sick of Billy Zane. I'm getting a little sick of him, but he is charming. He's a charming actor. Oh God, Billy Zane. I can't stay mad at him. I can't stay mad at Billy Zane. I hope he might become a mod someday if he plays his card. I mean, he could play one of my mods in a movie if he decides to make a movie about a guy who mods the Dr. Wolfula streams. I think that would probably be pretty good. But not quite trusting, because so far Billy Zane's comments are usually, "Hi Doc, how's it going?" Or he says he's Billy Zane, which I know who he is. I know who Billy Zane is. I saw The Phantom. I thought it was a great film. Or he says Titanic isn't very good. And those seem to be the only things he does. And it sort of makes me a little afraid to meet Billy Zane in real life, because I'm afraid he's just gonna be saying that shit like nonstop. Honestly, I used to kind of neglect to realize where the zombies got this flesh. I didn't really ever. It wasn't until like recent viewings where I connected. Oh, those are the remains. It's the blown up lovers. But at least they made a nice meal. I mean, that's the thing, is in a zombie apocalypse, nothing goes to waste. The dead either come back as undead, or dead people get eaten. Like, it's nice, and it's a nice sort of equalization. Well, it's nice, because honestly, to me, this is a big boost. To me, that's how I felt when I made Goulash. To me, I felt like, there's so many dead bodies lying around, it feels like such a waste to not do anything with them. So I was like, well, let's do something with all these dead bodies. Let's put them to use. Let's make them useful. But unfortunately, Goulash didn't prove to be very useful. That's just how it is. That's just how it is. Serpenthrope says, "We know your birthday now. When is Goulash's?" Thank you for the super chat, Serpenthrope, but I'm a little hesitant to tell you Goulash's birthday, because I don't want to risk him getting a lot of birthday, like happy birthdays. I don't want that. I don't want him to feel good on his birthday. He should feel like shit. But I guess if you must know, look up, I guess, the first Goulash video ever, and I basically made him the same day. I made him the same day as that video went up. I was like, hey, review an episode of Goosebumps for me. And he was like, okay, I guess I'll do that. And then I put him to work, like, right away. And he really dropped the ball on that video. He really dropped the ball.
You can't start the car. Johnny has the keys. You have a car?
Johnson says The Hills Run Red. I don't know if you're asking me to review the movie by that name, but I would also like to, I would also like to review that movie. I've never actually seen it, but I've always been kind of interested in it. Oh, underrated Romero gem, Martin. I would like to cover that movie, too. I've heard of it, and it definitely sounds cool. It sounds like a very gritty vampire movie. Like, it sounds like Romero really innovating the genre, and I believe that was the first movie he worked with Tom Savini on. And a little trivia, apparently Tom Savini was supposed to work on this movie for the effects too, but apparently he was in the army at the time and wasn't able to. He was in Vietnam, so he wasn't able to work on this film, unfortunately. But he did a fucking great job. He did a fucking great job with Dawn of the Dead, so it doesn't matter too much, but he probably would have had some really great contributions with this movie. Lance Davis says, keep smashing that like button, Wolfulites, and support the good Dr. Wolfulite. Wow, I should make you a mod. Really, I really like that enthusiasm. Damn, hell yeah. That's what I'm all about. Now, this is something that Romero has riffed on a lot in his movies, especially Dawn of the Dead. Oh, the cat is back. I guess I'll put him back on my lap so he can hopefully shush. Get back on my lap. I don't need you whining. Get on my lap. But it's something that he riffed on a lot in the subsequent movies, especially Dawn of the Dead. He had this whole sequence where he just showed the sort of the more rednecky guys just sort of clearly surviving and clearly having a ball during the zombie apocalypse. They're clearly super prepared for this and just like gung-ho about it, like all about it. They'll be the ones who are really ready when the world goes up. Man, a lot of demands to make people mods. We'll see about that. I did ask for people. I mean, that's the thing. I wish the folks who wanted to be mods were here. Like, I asked a couple weeks ago. I made like a post in my community tab asking if people wanted to be mods, and like I got no responses to that post. Like I got no responses. I got nobody. Like I got one person who asked to be a mod, and then nobody else. So I guess there's only a demand to be a mod when there's a stream that's already running. I guess that's what I fucking learned.
Thank you very much, Chief McClellan.
I guess that's what I learned, but I don't want to make that crazy decision in the middle. I just don't want to do it. Basically, to be a mod, you just have to be in the streams frequent enough, and you have to, like, to the point where I know who you are, or be like a familiar name, or, well, actually, yeah, that's pretty much it. You just have to be someone like I can trust that's been around a while.
Power lines are down.
And I've seen Eddie Huerta in a lot of streams, so I was like, yeah, let's make him a mod. And Simon Ausmus I've known for a while, so yeah, like made them mods because I know who they are. I've seen their names all the time. I see them all the time on videos. Like they're fans. I can definitely verify. Well, I guess Billy Zane is frequent enough, but at the same time, he doesn't have a lot of variety to his comments. Doesn't have quite a lot of variety. Now, what's currently happening is very similar to what's happening outside the barriers surrounding the die-in theater. There are currently zombie-like people, sort of an undead presence, but they are not undead. They're definitely still alive. And they're all surrounding my home trying to get my toilet paper supplies. Now, I will not be surrendering my toilet paper to them. I will surrender my toilet paper to no man, living or dead. I will not negotiate. I will not barter for the toilet paper. It is my toilet paper. So I'm gonna see how this turns out. It's probably gonna get bloody, but I have plenty of contingency plans. But very likely, it's just gonna end in a lot of bloodshed. And I can't guarantee my own safety, but we'll see how it turns out. We will see how it turns out. My hope is that this will all just blow over. My hope is that there will be an announcement on the radio saying, oh, hey guys, everything's fine now. And I'll be able to use my toilet paper to my heart's content, free of anyone judging me or trying to steal it from me or buying it. Like, hopefully everything turns out fine, but I don't think that's gonna happen. I'm a little fucked, but that's just how it is. That is just how it is, unfortunately. You know, it just happens sometimes, you know? You just end up in a shitty situation, and there's no shittier situation than a situation where you don't have toilet paper. But you pretty much have to deal with it. Like, I have an excess amount of toilet paper, and I have more toilet paper than I need, but still, I'm entitled to it. I came across the toilet paper fair and square. It's mine. And anyone who wants to challenge me on that can go ahead. But I will not waver. I'm gonna keep my fucking toilet paper, god damn it. Mad Dog McCree says, take a drink every time the doc mentions toilet paper. Well, I guess, well, I mean, the film is nearly over, but I guess if you want to do that late stage drinking game, you can. I think actually, you know, the first zombie that was shown, I think his name is Bill Heinzman. The first zombie that was shown, I think his makeup was much more severe in the opening scene, which was shot last. And I think they basically heightened his makeup to make him scarier, but in the crowd scenes and stuff, like, I think they hadn't decided he would be the chief zombie, the first zombie that appears. John Ho says, Doc, can't you use your fur as toilet paper? I'm not a fucking animal. You guys seem to think I'm like some kind of dog or something. Like, no, I'm a dude. Like, I'm a guy. I don't have fur either. My face is hairy, but underneath, totally hairless. Underneath this robe, I'm totally fucking hairless. I love the weird noise. Like, it's clear that, like, it's very eerie music. That's actually another thing that's sort of shitty about the extended version that John Russo did. He changed all the music. He had, like, the music redubbed, so it's worse music. It sounds like very, it has, like, a lot of synth tracks on it, and it just doesn't fit this movie at all. And I just got a notification. Ooh, a good notification. John Simmons, thank you for joining the Patreon. I definitely appreciate it. Oh, hell yeah. Just a little special thanks shout out to him. Oh, and there's Johnny. I guess maybe the second zombie that's shown in the movie, technically, kinda, maybe, but then again, Johnny. I mean, I guess he dies off camera and doesn't become a zombie until later, but whatever. But yeah, this ending really fucked with me the first time I saw it. I was like, wow, so nobody... Like, there's no winners in this movie. Everybody dies. Everybody... It was really something else. It's like just this nihilistic ending. Taylor Davis has a super chat. I know it's random, but how long did it take you to make the Thing review? It seems like it took a lot of work. I think it's one of your best reviews. Thanks. It took me a while, unfortunately, because I made it in December and I didn't have time to have like a timely Christmas video, but it was nice to make it. It's nice to get that out of the way. It did take me quite a while, but now it's taken me... I'm able to make videos a lot faster. Like, now, I've basically made writing much more of an efficient process, thankfully. And I've also figured out ways to make editing much more efficient so I can do stuff faster. But yeah, at the time, and also, yeah, just everything is just faster and more efficient. I've gotten much better processes. But yeah, mostly it took me a lot longer because I wasn't quite efficient yet. But besides that, I guess it took me like maybe a few weeks, maybe even a month, and I hate that. I hate the fact... I've gotten better. I've gotten better at timely videos, but yeah, not quite there yet, but I did like making that video. But yeah, this is a very nihilistic, downer ending, but it's very real. Like, if this ever happened, things would not go well, especially early on. There would be a lot of death. In a lot of ways, this movie kind of depicts the stakes involved with zombie movies. Like, there's just everything, you have to, like, work together because everything is fragile, ultimately. You have to, yeah, you definitely have to work together or else you're all gonna be fucked. It really messed with me. Apparently there was going to be an alternate ending that was a happy ending that was going to be made because the distributor asked for it to happen, but thankfully that didn't happen. Thankfully they went with this dark ending where, like, a little girl dies and becomes a zombie. Like, this is probably, I think, the darkest film up to this point in cinema. I think maybe this, as far as the darkest horror film is concerned, like, it's just very dark and disturbing of an ending if you think about it. If you go back, now it's kind of tame by today's standards. This movie would probably be, well, probably be a PG-13 or a PG, but then again, it's got a little bit of nudity. Not a lot of cursing, not a lot of, no sex, and the violence is kind of tame, but it might still be an R-rated movie. But yeah, it's just a really fucked up movie, and I think it came out, like, I think it was one of the last movies made before the MPAA introduced the ratings. So this movie, I think, was, even though I think it was forced to be a midnight movie, a drive-in movie, it still made like $30 million. Of course, Romero didn't get to see any of that, but happy endings are for simps. Okay. But that's my thing. I do prefer unhappy endings in horror movies. I feel like a happy ending in a horror movie, unless it's a happy, unless I'm getting jacked off while I'm watching a horror movie, that's a happy ending I like. But besides that, I feel like I prefer dark endings, like unhappy endings for movies generally, because to me, if it's a happy ending, then it just sort of diffuses what you just saw. You're just like, well, everything worked out in the end, so I'm not scared anymore. Like, an unhappy ending keeps you scared. To me, that's the thing, is like, you just need to be able to have like a bittersweet ending. Like Halloween is a bittersweet ending, where it's like, oh, Dr. Loomis beat Michael Myers, but he's still out there on the loose. Like, he temporarily beat Michael Myers, but he's out there on the loose, and he's still out there. And if you just take that ending by itself, it's like just this very scary idea, like this guy is just still out there. Same thing with Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Sally survived, but her friends and her brother are all dead, and it's fucked up, and it's a fucked up ending. Like, and you don't know what happened with the family at all. Like, you don't know if there's any consequences. Only the hitchhiker was killed. Like, it's just a bittersweet ending. It's not a happy ending. It's just happy that the characters survived, but that's it. This ending is probably just dismal. Like, I think one of the darker endings in horror cinema. Like, I think this was the first movie that showed, yeah, you can have an absolutely dark nihilistic ending for a horror movie. Like, you could just do that. Like, that's what sticks with people later on. It's not a happy ending where it's like, oh yeah, well, we all survived, that's it. No. I do like the crowd shots. Like, there aren't a ton of crowd shots in this movie, but when they do show up, it's really nice. It sort of hints at what would come later with the Romero movies, like the larger scale that he really wanted to do. You want my Bill Cosby impression as a ringtone, Mad Dog McCree? Okay, I'll try my best. It's a terrible impression, but okay. Zip zap zoop, Mad Dog McCree is not on the phone right now. Leave a message at the beep. That's horrible. What was I doing? I gotta stop doing it. I gotta stop doing that. Oh God, I hate myself. I hate myself when I do it. Okay, Serpenthrop says, so, with a super chat, thank you. So, would you have preferred the original ending of Alien where the xenomorph bit off Ripley's head, then talked over the radio to Earth in her voice? Oh, well, that would have been pretty cool. That would have actually been a pretty cool ending. Though, I feel like, yeah, that's the problem, is that that movie has a little too happy of an ending. I feel like that would have been a little too far, because I feel like Ripley is, what they did with Ripley in the sequel was pretty cool, so I feel like maybe that would have been a little too far. But yeah, they needed something a little darker with that ending, because that movie is a very dark movie, but it has an ultimately pretty happy ending. It needs something where it's still like, oh, the alien is still out there, there's still another alien, or they still haven't really contained it, or something, like, just something like that. Feel like, yeah, it could have used a bit more of a darker ending for sure, but maybe that would have been a little too far. But yeah, that's the ending. Ben gets killed, and I think it was really bad timing too, because I believe around when this movie came out, and Martin Luther King Jr. was not executed, like they executed, no, assassinated. He was assassinated, which was very unfortunate. But it sort of spoke to the times unintentionally. This movie was not made with the intention of saying anything about racism or anything, but you can. That's the nice thing, is that a lot of the times horror movies are very open-ended, where you can apply a lot of different ideas to it later on, because the concepts and premises are just fertile ground for like just analysis. But it's usually it is just your own personal, oh yeah, it is Bill Heinzman. Okay, good. I remembered his name myself. Alright, awesome. But it is just your own personal interpretation that, now, after this movie, of course, Romero did make horror movies with a lot more, intentional, I think the way people, interpreted this movie inspired him to, add more, I guess, social commentary to his movies after this film. But yeah, that's something I do love about this movie. It just has this gripping ending that grabs your attention. You're just like, what are they saying with this? It's just like, it's really messed up. Like, he's just treated like any of the other, and it's not necessarily racially motivated. It's just he was in the house with a whole bunch of zombies around, and they just made the assumption. But you could interpret it that way, I guess. Yeah, it's sort of like, yeah, I don't want to. I feel like I should save any interpretations for potential review of this movie later down the line. But yeah, it's always fun watching this movie. It's an absolute classic, and yeah, the film's over. Absolutely. That's when you see the end, chances are high the movie's over. Let's get the music playing. Hell yeah. Okay, let's get back to the car so I can sort of reconvene with everybody and pretty much sum up what we all watched. We watched Night of the Living Dead tonight, the original George Romero classic. It was very fun. It was fun to revisit. I've streamed it before, but it was fun to just go back and stream it again, especially during these times. Hopefully all of you are staying safe. Hopefully you're washing your hands and trying to avoid social situations if you can. You know, social distancing, like just try to, I guess, change your behavior for hopefully a temporary amount of time. Stay safe. You know, myself, I have tons of toilet paper, I can tell you that much, but I haven't experienced any symptoms, so if you're concerned, so far, everything's good. I've been fine. There's been some close calls, but I think I'm fine. I think I'm fine, but hopefully all of you are staying safe. I've heard from some fans they've been getting sick, which is very unfortunate. Definitely stay inside and hopefully you guys recover, because that's very distressing to hear. I really hope for the best. I hope this whole thing blows over soon, because it's genuinely, it's not so scary to me, it's just scary for everybody else. Like, there's a lot of people who are dealing with some issues, especially fans, and I want only the best for you guys. Like, you guys, I want to treat you like kings. Oh, but anyway, pretty much just, if you like this video, like it, and if you loved it, subscribe for more, and make sure to click the bell icon if you want to keep track of when the next stream is going to be. You'll get reminders, and you'll get reminders for when I upload another video, so make sure to do that. And also, I just want to have another little reminder of my movie night tomorrow. It's a bonus stream with Patreon supporters and channel members, so if you'd like to join that Day of the Dead stream, consider supporting the channel. It really means a lot. It really helps the channel continue to grow and thrive, so I really appreciate it. And I'll have some more streams here on YouTube, too, so don't worry about that. I'll try to have some more After Dark streams and some game streams, too, just to give you guys some stuff to do and be able to hang out with me. It's just sometimes, I don't know, it's hard to balance that stuff while making the other videos, but I'll try to fit that stuff more. So keep an eye out for that. Also follow me on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Dr. Wolfie to keep track of me. And also I just want to give another shout out to Pop Bass. I've got there's a Haunted Mask reading by Goulash and a Scoob trailer reaction. There's some trivia for the movie we watched tonight. New wallpaper downloads, and yeah, I also answer questions in the app. So if you want to, you know, connect with me in a different way, another interactive medium, definitely download the app. It's on iOS and Android. It's nice and fun, and consider becoming a Patreon supporter like before. Also, I want to give a special thanks to my True Wolfielite supporters on Patreon and YouTube channel memberships. You guys mean a lot to me. Your support really helps me out during these really shitty times. I really appreciate it. Things are really rough, and I appreciate all of it from you guys. It really means the world. Because, yeah, things are scary, and it's nice to have this kind of support right now. Yeah, I can't really thank you guys enough. It really means a lot. It's hard to be sincere when you know it's me, it's Dr. Wolfula, but yeah, it really makes a huge difference for me. But it also makes a huge difference for me from all of you guys who watched at home, and I hope my videos can bring you guys together. Hopefully my videos can help you through these difficult times, and I'm hoping you guys get through this stuff totally fine and stay safe. Like, I'm gonna be completely sincere here. I'm not, no jokes, just stay safe. Don't be like Goulash, don't become the living dead. Like, just stay safe, and I hope we just pull through this whole thing together, and we just, hopefully it's unlike the Blair Witch Project, where we look back at this and laugh heartily. Like, Heather didn't get to laugh heartily about that, but hopefully we actually get to do this. Hopefully this isn't like a real-life Blair Witch Project that we all experience, where things don't go well. I'm hoping for the best for everybody. Alrighty. I've been your host, Dr. Wolfula, signing out. See you all next time. I hope I see you all next time.